Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome to Lineup Predictions, a Carabao Cup final special. Sunday, 26th of February, 2023. Remember the date. Newcastle's first cup final since 1999. But Lineup Predictions is back, people. Yes. We've finished Lineup Predictions earlier on in the season, only a few weeks into the season. Haven't been back since, so we'll have to bring it back for this big one. Started doing these in 2019 under Steve Bruce, where, let's be honest, it was a little bit lifting, picking along the likes of Yoshinori Muto, Yedlin, Kieran Clark, Jeff Hendrick. It's all come a long way since then. Eddie Howe's big Saudi mags has got us into a cup final for the first time since 1999. Have I said it's been since 1999? I think it might have been 1999. First time at the new Wembley. Honestly, I am so buzzed, and I can't even believe that we're doing a cup final. I'm predicting a lineup for a cup final. I cannot believe it. We're going to get into that very, very shortly. First up, though, this video is brought to you by Circl, the brand new sweepstake and football app. Link in the description below. This is the big Circl for this weekend. Of course, it's the big one for the Carabao Cup final. Newcastle United versus Manchester United. Sign up now, and this is what you can win. £500 maximum jackpot on the goal gifter special. Just going to bring you a little team news there before we get into the lineup, and we're going to start with the Red Devils on the other side. A game tonight, recording this on Thursday evening. Kickoff is only in around about 3 hours' time, playing Barcelona at home in the Europa League. And just having a little look at Erik ten Hag's press conference, and he says that Harry Maguire and Anthony should be back in the matchday squad. They've been out for a little bit of time with a little bit of injury. Scott McTominay is back. He had a bit of an injury, but came back as a substitute during Sunday's 3-0 win over Leicester. Anthony Martial is on his way back. I think tonight is going to be a little bit too soon for him. I think they're going to try and target Sunday's game against us, unfortunately, for his return, but only time will tell about that. And the only other notable absentees are the long-term absentees for them, which is Donny van der Beek and Christian Eriksen, both of which I believe are out for the season. I think van der Beek especially, Eriksen may be back towards the back end, but they have replaced him in the squad with Marcel Sabitzer, who should be available for this game. And we're going to get into Newcastle's team news. Obviously, where we're going to start is goalkeeper. Nick Pope, of course, on Sunday got himself a red card, didn't he, against Liverpool, which will see him out of this game, as is Martin Dubravka, who is cup-tied, having played for Man United at the beginning of the season on loan. A bit of a strange situation for him, as he will win a cup medal if Newcastle lose. Obviously, he is a Newcastle player, as things are, always has been, really. Just with that loan spell, I think he had one cup appearance. I can't remember, one or maybe even two Carabao Cup appearances for Man United earlier in the season. So he is registered with them, was registered at the beginning of the season and made an appearance. So he'll get a cup medal only if Man United win, which is a bit of a mad situation. So obviously, because he represented somebody in this competition, not necessarily because it was Manchester United, but because he played for somebody else in this competition at the beginning of the season, that does mean that he is cup-tied, as is Anthony Gordon. New January signing is also cup-tied. So they're the three key ones that we will be without: Nick Pope, Martin Dubravka, and Anthony Gordon. So it's a competition for a spot in goal. Obviously, the main two that we're talking about is Loris Karius to potentially come in for his Newcastle United senior debut, and Mark Gillespie, who hasn't played since, I think, the Carabao Cup in about 2020. So it's been a couple of years since he's seen any first-team action. And we brought up Max Thompson to travel with the squad, 18-year-old junior player. We were, I think, going to consider Jude Smith, 19 years old, but he's injured, so we can't even get the youngins to come up. But it's just for travel, obviously. If, touch wood, if Karius or Gillespie get injured in the warm-ups or even on the travels down, you've got to have a third-place goalkeeper just to fill a spot on the bench. So that will be Max Thompson if that does happen. Bigger news, though, that Bruno Guimaraes is back after serving his 3-game suspension after his red card against Southampton in the second leg of this competition. Missed the last 3 games. And my God, do we need him now? Because we haven't been great these last few games, let's be honest. So buzzing to have Bruno back in the squad. Joelinton, the other Brazilian midfielder, is okay. Eddie Howe's confirmed that he'll be fine after going off in that game on Sunday against Liverpool. Picked up, I think it was just a little bit of a niggle and hamstring injury. So I think he just came off as a precaution more than anything. Don't want to upset that to come into this game without another midfielder. As Joe Willock may not be available, Eddie did say that it is a race against time to get him fit. He missed the Liverpool game. I think that was expected through the injury that he picked up the week before against Bournemouth. So yeah, Eddie's hopeful, but yeah, it is a race against time. So I think at best we'll see him on the bench. If he's in the starting 11, I'll be very, very surprised. And we can confirm that Ryan Fraser may well be done at Newcastle. Hasn't really featured a lot this season. He's been lucky to get a spot on the bench, if anything. But it's been confirmed that he's starting to train with the under-23s and will likely be there until the end of the season. So he won't be in this squad and probably won't be in a squad again until he's sold in the summer. He's still in contract, though, so we'll have to try and get a sale or to terminate his contract when the year's ended. But yeah, we're not really coming into this game as the favourites, really, are we? Unfortunately, just going to quickly touch on the form guide before getting into the lineup prediction. Man United have only lost one league game in the last 17 games in all competitions. That was against Arsenal as well. So 17 games in all competitions, only one defeat against the then league leaders, now down to second, following behind Man City. And in no big part thanks to Marcus Rashford, who's been in tremendous form. I believe 14 goals he's got in the Premier League this season. I think that's his best return since coming into the fold, since he was, 16, 17, something like that. This is the Rashford that Man United fans have been wanting since then. And yeah, he's doing it. Probably one of the most informed players in all of Europe at the minute. So Karius has got a big deal. If it is Karius, we'll get into that. But yeah, whoever's in goal, going to have a big time trying to keep him out because, yeah, he's just been mad dangerous. And on the other side of things, Newcastle only one league win since the Boxing Day win, since the return of after the World Cup. That game was against Leicester. We've only won one game since in the Premier League, and that was the late Isak winner against Fulham. Doesn't include, though, the three Carabao Cup games that we have played since then. Obviously, beating Leicester in the quarter-final, and Southampton in both legs in the first and second leg. Beat them both times, and that does include the loss to Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, since Boxing Day, apart from the three Carabao Cup games and the win against Leicester, against Fulham, yeah, we haven't really been playing the best of, I think, injuries, suspensions, particularly to Bruno. Yeah, we've just not been the Newcastle that we were at the beginning of the season. So yeah, this game, the biggest game that we've had in donkey's years, over 20 years. I think somebody told us it was 1999 we were last there. Yeah, biggest game since 99, I've heard. So yeah, it's just one of them things. We just got to come do what we can in Eddie we trust. And even without Nick Pope, and I think Nick Pope is the only one that we really are missing. If you look at the rest of the squad, Bruno's back, Joelinton's back. We can replace Willock in the starting 11. Like, it'll be unfortunate because he's been decent forward, but we've got three centre mids. Hopefully, he can at least take up a spot on the bench. And we're not missing anyone else. Everyone else that we're usually out or available, like Sir Maximin, Callum Wilson, and Alexander Isak. Almiron took an injury recently, but he's okay. Kieran Trippier was taken off on Sunday, as a precaution. I think, again, just to prevent any injuries or suspensions. So, yeah, let's get into the lineup. Going to bring you the screen up on here, getting the visuals, starting with the Man United team. There it is there, just showing you the players that they have at their disposal. Captain Harry Maguire back, as mentioned. Christian Eriksen is injured. Got Anthony coming back. And who was the other one that I mentioned? Van der Beek, he's out, with McTominay back as well. So let me get into where it matters. I'm not going to predict Man United's team because, to be honest, I couldn't really give a shit. All it is about is the mags. Got the red bibs here on Martin Dubravka and Anthony Gordon to indicate that they aren't available. And also an injury to Emil Kraft. I forgot to mention him. He's obviously our long-term absentee, being out all season, unfortunately. Has he done really, really well at the back end of last season, covering for Kieran Trippier when he got his injury. And the rest of the team, I believe, is fine, apart from, obviously, big Nick Pope with his suspension there. So into the rest of the team, we're going to get into the lineup. And obviously, we're going to start in goal. So it's a choice, basically, between these two here. We've got Loris Karius, Mark Gillespie. There he is there, 30 years old, Geordie boy. Will he get to represent his team? Probably not. It is going to be Loris Karius, as I'm sure we would all agree. That's going to be the first name on the team sheet there. And going to go right to left on the back line. And obviously, we're going to bring in Kieran Trippier. I'll stick a green bib on Lascelles there and go ahead and put in the usual suspects. Fabian Schär on the back line with Sven Botman. Give the captain's armband to Kieran Trippier, as Lascelles is our main captain, but will take up a spot on the bench. And at left back, I'm buzzing to see Matt Targett come back. Forgot to mention him in the prediction before, in the team news, sorry. He's been quite a long-term absentee, been out for a good few weeks, creating the running form for Dan Burn at left back. But I feel like Dan Burn's form is on the slow decline. Maybe he's just playing a lot of games, not his usual position either. I mean, he's a more than capable left back and done brilliantly this season, so can't criticise too much. But yeah, I'm buzzing to see Matt Targett come back as an option, and to maybe threaten that spot a little bit, just give Dan Burn a little bit extra to work for, because even though we've had the likes of Richie and Lewis and Dummett, there's been a few left back options, but Dan Burn's been mega comfortable in Matt Targett's absence. But he played in, I don't know when it was it Monday, I think it might have been, or during the week before then, I can't even remember when it was, but he had a little bit of a run out. It was a friendly under-23 game. He started, played an hour, and got a goal and an assist. So he's back and looking fresh. So looking forward to seeing him back, but I do believe it will be a little bit too early for him. So for at least this game, and I'm happy to do it. We've got the Geordie boy, Dan Burn. He's going to come in and continue at left back, at least for this game, until Matt Targett can come back and get a little bit of form under his belt. So there's the back line there. And in midfield, where we've got going here, so we've got another Geordie boy. We'll stick him straight in there. Sean Longstaff. Buzzing to see him, and it's great to have the local lads like Longstaff and Dan Burn in. They know what it's about. They would have just been kids last time we got to a cup final. So was Sean Longstaff even born? How old is he? 25? Yeah, he might have been born just about, but he'd have been a baby. Dan Burn at 30 years old, isn't he? Come on. 30 years old. There we are, Dan Burns. Yeah. Yeah, he might have just remembered it, but again, would have been a kid. Sean Longstaff at best would have been a baby. So the rest of it, obviously, we've got Bruno. Buzzing to have him back, and he's absolutely crucial. Can't even explain how much that we've missed Bruno over the last few games. So to have him come back and get him straight into that starting lineup couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even need to say it. Everybody knows how good Bruno is and how much that we've missed him. And we'll stick Joe Linton over on that other side. Get him into that starting lineup. There we are. So there's my midfield three. All done. And there could be a little bit of a debate in the front three, really, couldn't there? We're going to start on the right-hand side, and I think the only player that we're really going to realistically stick in there is Miguel Almiron. He can get into the starting 11 there. We'll go over onto the left-hand side, where I think everybody knows where we're going here. That will be Alan Saint-Maximin. And it is a bit of a question up front, as we do have two very good strikers, and both available for the first time in a long, long time. As you've got Callum Wilson here, And we've also got club record signing Alexander Isak. So who do we go for? Let me know in the comments below who you would go for. But for me personally, I'm sticking a bib on Callum Wilson. He's going to start from the bench, and Alexander Isak is going to lead that line for us. I'm not too happy with the positionings here. We'll try and get them sorted out. But yeah, that's the lineup for me. Isak will lead the line with Sir Maximin and Almiron on the other side. Kieran Trippier, captain in the team. Geordie Boy, Dan Burn on the other flank with Sven Botman, Fabian Schär, and Loris Karius in goal. There it is, confirmed along the bottom there. There we've got the starters and finalised the bench option for you as well. That will be Jamal Lascelles, Callum Wilson, Matt Ritchie, Matt Targett, Javier Manquillo, Jacob Murphy, Joe Willock, Mark Gillespie, and Elliot Anderson, which will leave out a couple of first teamers. Obviously mentioned Dubravka, Gordon, Kraft, Fraser, and Pope. We all know where they are. Dummett and Lewis. I don't know. Ashby hasn't. I don't think he's been fit really, so Ashby hasn't been part of a matchday squad since he signed yet. So Jamal Lewis, and I think particularly Paul Dummett as another Geordie boy might just be unfortunate to miss out. But we're not really into sentiment here. We need to pick the best squad available. And for me, I just think bringing Target back into the fold is a hell of a much better option than Dummett or Lewis. And Lascelles is the only recognisable centre-back, really. Ritchie came on against Liverpool and had a pretty good game and can obviously also cover as a winger as well if need be, if really, really desperate. So yeah, that's my team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Big up Eddie Howe's sexy Saudi mags. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Going to give a prediction as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As I said, particularly based on form, ours not being great, theirs being very, very good, knocking us out of the top 4, up in 3rd place, Tottenham even now ahead of us. I just see it being a really, really tough game, one that I don't really want to give an honest prediction on because I don't see it being good. My optimistic prediction is a draw to finish the game after 90 minutes. I believe it will be 1-1, and I'm going to go for a Newcastle victory on penalties. Loris Karius being the hero, heard it here first. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Been brilliant to be back. Thank you very much. Missed me time here on the Magpie channel, but I'm sure there'll be more in the future. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And most importantly, on Sunday, please enjoy yourself.